Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on 3 movies. First up is Dead Whisper, then Stay Safe, and finally Space Cadet. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 14. Available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. I will be at the Gloucester Township Farmers Mart from 4 to 9 today, just in a little bit. So stop on by across from ShopRite in Clementon, New Jersey, right on Chews Landing Road in Veterans Park. Okay, so Dead Whisper is one of these very on-the-nose horror movies where everybody is super creepy around the protagonist in a very sort of obvious way. Like, well, of course you can enter my sanctum. Well, I know everything about you, sir. Of course. And, you know, it's weird things like that get said and nobody ever goes, what the hell are you talking about? It seems like it just has a bunch of characters that have no self-awareness. Like scenes like this. He's walking through a field. I guess this is a dream sequence, but I kind of think it's not the way it's presented. I mean, look at it. You're going to walk through that field and go, what, and not go, what the hell is going on? And then you've got some creepy guy who runs the inn who says, will you sign my guest book, sir? Oh, I'm not a guest. Oh, but everyone who enters my home is a guest. Like he knows something that's obviously going to be revealed later on, like he's the devil or he's in hell. Here he is laughing. Ha, 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 ha. You've been dead the whole time. We didn't tell you. Ha, 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 ha. So there's a lot of scenes like that. In cinemas July 5th, on demand July 9th. Well, why even bother to go to the cinema then? Directed by Connor Susi? Susi? Story by Connor Susi, written by Connor Susi and Colin Charles Dale, who I assume was actually a screenwriter. Looks like it was produced in part by Ben Grant. I think I know that dude. I think that's a dude from the state. If that's the same Ben Grant, pretty common name. I don't recognize any of the actors, but I mean, it looks creepy enough, but the plot, it kind of, I couldn't tell you what the hell it's about. Guy goes, it takes place in the past, I know that much, because there's newspapers and there's regular sort of landline phones, and so I think it takes place in like the 80s, and the guy has to go to the island for some legal reason, possibly because of a will. It kind of looks like that kind of setup. And then he gets there and it's all weird and creepy, and it just gets weirder and creepier until he can't leave the island. And then everybody dies. I don't know. It's kind of very... Again, a lot of these trailers recently have just been all icing, no cake. You know, it's great to have icing on cake, but you can't have a cake completely made of icing. That would be too much. Right? The point of the icing is so you eat the cake. These movies are like all icing. Oh, look at all this cool stuff that's happening. Yeah, but what's the story? Yeah, but look at these crazy people in the field. Why are they there? Give us a hint of this. Let's see if there's a write up here. There is none. Well, on this one, I am going to the IMDb, because this one is an American film. So, all right, here it is. See if there's a write-up here, because I am curious. Dead Whispers centers around Elliot Campbell, a Cape Cod lawyer drawn into a mysterious island where he's tempted by a reunion with his dead daughter, but at the peril of his soul. Okay, so I think I got that, most of that. So, yeah, I think it's a weird sort of visit to hell kind of movie. So... I don't know. If this movie's a second over 90 minutes, it's too long. I don't think you could sustain a full-length feature on a premise like this. It's great for a short film, if you want to do a short film. I don't think you could sustain 90 minutes because a lot of it's going to be like, well, so here's your room. And then he goes to the room and nothing creepy's happening. And you're like checking your watch. And it's like, okay, when's this movie getting started? Oh, now it's normal. Okay, so it's going to be normal for a while. And then something creepy happens. Like, the pacing on these things is laborious because I don't think there's, the big reveal is the whole movie. Is he in hell? Does he get to reunite with his daughter? Or has it been a whole thing? Is he the one who's really dead? What's the deal? So, not enough here for me to even parse it apart, but it's a horror movie. It would be in my wheelhouse. I would watch it if somebody else was watching it, maybe. Next up is sort of a horror movie. Sort of a horror sci-fi movie called Stay Safe. There's been some sort of pandemic, and this woman is some kind of doctor or person involved in that, and she's got a handsome husband, and then one day a mysterious woman knocks on her door. Now, they have a very happy marriage, but of course, ladies, never let a beautiful woman in your home to live with you, because of course, he bangs her. And then weird stuff starts to happen. I'm not sure if this is a dream sequence, but people are dying from this pandemic, but she let a stranger into her house. It kind of doesn't make any sense. While the pandemic's happening, he's having an affair, and then she confronts him, but like really the hot woman is the devil? Something like that. And weird, mysterious things happen, and one of the dying patients told her to stay safe, and that's how this whole thing starts. I don't know. First act, there's some sort of pandemic which really kind of has nothing to do with the movie. And people are dying, but somehow these two are having their normal life. And then a mysterious woman knocks on the door, and who's beautiful, and they just let her live there for some reason. Second act, she becomes an issue because the husband thinks she's hot and bangs her, even though he already has a hot wife, but guys are horny. And then there's a whole love triangle thing while the pandemic gets worse, and she is like having problems, and gets more and more supernatural, and then you realize she's the devil, and that she's trying to destroy both of them. Does she? No, I assume the blonde woman overcomes the evil hot chick she let into her house. It doesn't look great. Yeah, no write up here. I gotta go to the IMDb again. See, I shouldn't have to keep doing this for movies. I shouldn't have to do this. Stay safe. Stationed on the front lines of a pandemic hot zone, an army surgeon attempts to uncover the truth behind subliminal message she received from a patient while dealing with the unexpected arrival of an illegal immigrant to her home. Oh, and she's pregnant too, it looks like? Weird. That wasn't even in the trailer. I don't get this movie at all. Sure. Whatever. So it's kind of a thriller / horror with sci-fi elements. All right, I'm just moving on to Space Cadet, which is sci-fi comedy starring Emma Roberts, who, in my mind, can't pull this off. She's very attractive. Nothing wrong with that. But the idea was when she was a little kid, she wanted to be an astronaut, and then life got in the way. And now, late in her life, she's going to try to be an astronaut, and her friend lies on her resume, and that's how she gets into the astronaut training program. So I think you can pretty much write the rest. Dave Foley, looking to make a bunch of money, because I hear he got reamed in his divorce. So, a party girl's going to space, everybody, and she's obviously underqualified, but somehow lying on her resume and going through the motions gets her, PG-13 by the way, gets her in space, prime. This looks like a wacky girl comedy that I mean, at least it's not woke, but it's not really landing for me because Emma Roberts, like maybe if you had Anna Faris, Anna Faris maybe could pull this off. She's also very cute, but she's also got experience with comedy. Emma Roberts she's not awful, but she doesn't come off as I mean, you got to go big in comedy. This is a comedy movie. It's just billed as comedy. In a comedy, you got to go big or go home. I mean, this is a stupid premise, but if the comedy's on point, you could kind of forgive it. I don't think you really can with NASA. NASA has too much of a reputation of being smart. Like, what kind of NASA thing would allow someone who lied on their resume and is completely underqualified to, and then there's a scene where they say, oh, well, she developed this gateway for manatees. Like, what the hell does that have to do with going into space? Or she developed a gateway for manatees in the river, so now she's obviously qualified to be an astronaut. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like, at least give her mild qualifications to be an astronaut. Or give us the whole Homer Simpson deal where, well, if we put regular guys in space, then NASA will get more funding and our ratings will go up. Like, you could at least do that. Give us some kind of hope you could actually make this plot function. Because otherwise it's just like, oh, wacky comedy, party girl goes to space. Yeah, it's not very funny. It's a little too like, hey guys, I'm funny kind of humor from girls. I don't know if a girl wrote it. I'll go to the IMDb again. Whoever wrote it, I think you had to do a better job of this. But it may, as always, may not be the problem of the screenwriters. Liz W. Garcia is the writer and director. Yeah, I mean, I get the double entendre when you say space cadet, because she's a space cadet. I get that. But, it's not very funny. The Trailer Park Boys going to space to smoke weed is more funny because that's so crazy and over the top. But this, you would need a female, like a different female lead might have made it work. Someone who's in comedy, Nikki Glazer, Eli Cummings, is that her name? Even Amy Schumer would have been better. At least she can do funny takes. Or she used to be able to do them. I don't know about now. But Emma Roberts, I mean, you don't want to put an actor in a lead comedic role. You want to put a stand-up comic or someone who's done a lot of comedy who can carry the damn movie. Can Emma carry it? Maybe for the writer-director, she thought she was funny, but for general audience, a PG-13 movie, who's this for? Little girls, I guess. Oh, little girls, and they could sort of giggle and laugh at this, but it seems like kind of a small audience for this. It should be more broad than that. It should be crazy. It should be over the top because it's a dumb premise, and you got to compensate using the comedy. So, all right, how do I rank these three? So, Space Cadet, Stay Safe, Ted Whisper. God, I guess just in the order I watched them, really. Dead Whisper is first, just because it might be crazy and interesting. Stay Safe doesn't look like that. I mean, there's hot chicks in it, so there's that. I mean, these chicks are pretty hot, both of them. And then, yeah, definitely at the bottom, way at the bottom, is Space Cadet. I don't want to see this thing. So, yeah, I don't really want to see any of these movies, quite frankly, which is why I threw them all together in a video. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for coming out. If you do come out, I haven't been there yet, but I'm going to the Gloucester Township Farmers Mart from 4 to 9 today in Veterans Park in Clementon, New Jersey, right across from ShopRite there. And so I'll thank you in advance if you came out. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you.